Hey guys, how you doing? This is Hearthstone with Mike. Once again, we're going to be looking over a sort of budget deck that new or inexperienced players can play without having to have a lot of dust. And today we are looking at Dragon Shaman. So basically, the deck runs sort of a shell of the more aggressive shaman, where you have your feral spirits and lava bursts for finishing damage. You've got your tunnel trog and totem golem for your openers. However, right in the middle of the game, we have dragons. We got Twilight Guardians for more taunts to protect our growing tunnel trogs. We got Blackwing Corruptor for spot removal or to push some extra damage. And once we get them down to 15 health, we can just plop down a Draconid Crusher for a huge threat to close out the game. Draconid Crusher in particular pushes this deck more towards the mid-range archetype, where our strongest plays are going to be in the middle of the game. So, yeah, it's looking good. I've played some of this deck already, had some success. So we're gonna hop right into a game and see what we can do. And once again, whether we win or lose, I'm going to be talking through my plays every turn, hoping that you'll learn something along the way. Because even if you lose a game, that doesn't necessarily mean you played badly. Alright, so really tempted to keep that Azure Drake for synergy, but I'm throwing back the two corruptors, so not much use for it, and we'd rather draw Flame Wreath Faceless. We're looking for Tunnel Trog, Totem Golem, and possibly some spot removal like Rockbiter Weapon here, since we'll probably have to remove our opponent's minions. Oh, and he passed his turn. So right now I'm really tempted to just throw down Sir Finley. However, we do have the thing from below, and so then we might be in a situation where hero powering is okay, and that would buff this up more. More importantly, I want to play Tunnel Trog, but I want to keep the coin, since Rockbiter makes a good combo piece. And now we'll see whether our opponent is a slower control warlock. Most likely, life tap on turn 2 seems to indicate that. But the the Totem Golem is right on time, so let's get some work in. And now we can follow up with a Flame Tongue very nicely. I'm really tempted to use the Rockbiter weapon to just clear that right away in order to protect both of these. In fact, what are our plays on turn 3? We're going to be overloaded. Not actually going to be overloaded, so this is going to clear up. So we'll be at 4 mana. We can play the thing from below. And then turn 5, we can play Azure Drake. Yeah. I think it's the safe to play. At worst, it'll require that he have something like Hellfire. And even then, we can still play something. And this should survive. Because if I let that alone, he traded into the Totem Golem and then clear our board, if he plays Hellfire now. Also, this is about a week after the start of the season now, so hopefully things have slowed down a little bit since the beginning. Uh, oh, I was right! Hellfire! That actually feels good to have predicted that, so... Oh, wow. So, now that he's used Hellfire, I'm tempted to play Thing from Below, but I could make it cheaper still and play both Tuskar, Totemic, and Sir Finley. That has the potential of getting something good out of this. So let's do this. Actually, now that I think about it, if I play this, this goes to 3, so I still can't play this as well. Ah, well. Tuskar, Totemic. We gotta push things a little more. Oh, good, we got the Flame Tongue. That's awesome. So, let's hit the face here. And I think we want to potentially trade Sir Finley. So, ooh, or do we want him to... Do we want the Totem Golem to have that? I don't want to do that just in case he plays something big. Ooh, life tap. I had to make a quick decision there, but I think that was the right one because we're getting a little low and we're only going to be able to cycle this next turn. Of course, worst is that he's not running a Reno and he has a second Hellfire. That would feel bad. But I think right now the most popular control Warlock is Reno, so it's my read of the meta. Oh, Mortal Coil is a good card. That's okay, I guess. Huh. Ooh, wow. So, here's the thing, is if he Renos next turn, this is kind of shot down. However, if he does Reno next turn, it would probably be better for me to have something other than Azure Drake up. Like, this 5/5 probably do. So, yeah, let's control the board and assume that he's going to play Reno. Just tap first. Okay, that's an activator. That's really good. Or I rather, both of these are activators, but this, you know, it's Dragon Synergy. There's not a simple word for it other than Dragon Synergy, so. And at this point, he either loses because he doesn't have Reno, or he gets back up because he does. So let's see. That seems like he's been holding on to it since the first... Oh, interesting. I'm actually really happy about that because, well, number one, I can do this and then trade in Sir Finley and save this. But I wonder if I should scramble to play the Draconid. Reasoning being, if he Siphon Souls it, he's not Renoing next turn. And if he Renos, I still am way ahead. Oh, man. I think I'm going for it. This might be a risk. But... And this also leaves a useless minion. Oof. So if he Renos, I'm actually not too upset about that because we are already way ahead. And it's possible he doesn't have it. But he might Siphon. Oh wait, no, he doesn't have the mana for it. By the way, the card I'm referring to, Siphon Soul, is 6 mana Warlock spell that destroys a minion and heals the hero for 3. So that would be a big swing. Oh. Oh. Interesting. So with that we win, I guess. Yep, because clear that. Victory! He probably wasn't expecting us to be playing dragon cards, and since those were the first, since the Draconid was the first one we played, I believe, it probably caught him off guard, so. Although, to be fair, what put us way ahead was the fact that he didn't have Reno, so. But, played to play that made us win, and made sure that we developed the board so that if he did have Reno, we could stay ahead, so. It was a good strategy overall. I think saving the coin might have helped out in the long run as well, just because he didn't have an alternate answer for... I'm thinking back to when he played the Earthen Ring Farseer, whether it was right to have coined out the Rockbiter weapon. And I think it still was, even if he had Reno, because it allowed us to stay ahead. That's my assessment of it. Alright, enough post-analysis, let's move on to the next game. What's also great about this deck is that it doesn't run any, like, big legendaries, unlike the last deck we played, which was N'Zoth Aggro Rogue, which also didn't perform too well, but it wasn't exactly like a top-tier Rogue deck, and also I'm not very good at Rogue. But I'm pretty decent with Shaman, so hoping for our Tunnel Trog or our Finley. That's a good... well, it's not a good follow-up, actually. It's not coming until turn 4, but hopefully we'll draw into some alternate turn 1 or turn 3 plays. Since it's Warrior, we can expect either Cthulhu Warrior or a more tempo-oriented Dragon Warrior. So we'll see whose dragons are superior, I suppose. To be fair, it's probably going to be the Dragon Warrior. However, since he didn't have an early play, like, if he had Alex Strauss's champion and a dragon in hand, he probably would have coined it out. At least that's the play I would have done, just to immediately start putting pressure on a shaman that didn't play anything turn 1. Unfortunately, we don't have a good turn 2 play coming, so we'll hope we draw something. Otherwise, we'll have to push the button. Well, he'd have to coin out and execute, which he doesn't do. Okay. Looks like we're pushing the button. Good news is that's discounting this, so I'm okay with that. We can play it next turn. Even if he deals with this, he could potentially Alex Straza and execute this and be ahead with a 3-2. But then we play a thing from below. Alternative plays are he has Fiery War Axe, and then doesn't develop anything else, but Fiery War Axe alone can't kill. Ooh, Armor Smith, huh? Now that's interesting. At this point I'm wondering what else we can do. It seems like we're going to... If he hits the 1-1 with Armorsmith, I think I'm okay with that. And if he spends mana dealing with this, he can't necessarily kill the... On the other hand, there is Fiery War Axe into Blood to Ichor, hit it with this, and then execute this. And that would clear everything but the 1/1. Of course, also there's also Ravaging Ghoul, execute this, and run the Armor Smith into that. That would clear the board too, and leave him with a 3/3. So, oh, Corcoran. So, is he going to run both of them into that? That seems... wow. I don't know how I feel about that move. Sorry, I bumped the mic there. Alright. He's at 25 health. We can push it down to 21. I think this has a non-zero chance of getting us Flame Tongue Totem that gives attack. So that would be 6 damage to face. I think we can still push for 15 next turn anyway. And if not, then Draconid can wait a little later. Since we have a dragon, I'm okay with playing one of ours. So if we draw a Blackwing Corruptor, we can still activate it right on tempo. Well, right as soon as we draw it in. It would be a tempo play if we can remove something that he plays. Oh. So, that is super slow. He's gotta be Control Warrior, which means I'm wondering whether we should play around... Well, playing around Brawl would mean, say, throwing out the Blackwing Corruptor and running into that. I think that would be playing around Brawl. Alternative plays are we can Lightning Storm and then possibly trade the 1/1 in, saving the 4/4 and the 3/2. Ah, jeez. How afraid am I of Brawl, though? The reason for this is just because I figured I gotta be aggressive at some point, and it would be devastating if he has Brawl, but I have so many cards in my hand that I could replenish the board with. Plus I did an overload, and that was a pretty big swing. I mean, you think a 4-mana 7/7 is good, a 6-mana 9/9 isn't bad either. But also, if he brawls, that's all he's doing. Unless this Totem Golem survives, in which case he still has a 4/5 on the board, and then he clears us with, like, Execute or something. That would be, like, the best outcome for him. The worst outcome would be, oh, interesting. Oh, he's drawing more. He's looking for an answer. If he doesn't have it, he's dead. He's dead even if he armors up now, unless he plays... Oh, wow! Another. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna do it. There we go. So I guess, yep, that was the correct play after all. Cool. I'm so used to, like, wanting to control the board so much that I sometimes neglect to think about when to either play a big threat or to push for next turn lethal, and that was an example of it, because he went from, like, 21 health, which is pretty comfortable, to less than 15 with lethal on the board, all in my turn, and that's after he played a very slow play on turns on his previous turn. So that's what made me think that was the play to make. Guess I was right. And it earned us a quest completed, so I'm pleased with that overall. We'll go for one more game and then call it for now, but doing much better so far with this deck. It does help though that Shaman is very strong right now, so highly recommended if you have the cards for it. The downside to this deck for new players is that it does require a couple of adventures. You need at least the first 2 wings of League of Explorers for Tunnel Trog, and the entire Blackrock Mountain adventure for the Corruptors and the Draconids. So, this is actually a really nice hand here. Who are we up against? We are against Warrior again. The Rockbiter has a lot of potential. We can play Sir Finley right away. The only thing is that Sir Finley and then next turn Coin Feral Spirit isn't very strong. Not as strong at least as Tunnel Trog. And especially when we're behind like this. I'm gonna just keep this hand because we have almost everything we would need, and I would feel real bad to throw back a couple of one drops. This would be a 1-drop if, for instance, he played... Oh wait, Warrior doesn't play a lot of 1-drops. Oh my goodness, we made it. We have the dream. So let's think about this. On turn 2, we're playing this, will be overloaded for 1, or for 2, which means on turn 3, we'll have 1 minute to play. Fortunately, we have the cards for that. So we're happy to play it like this. This is just Shaman things. So for instance, if Alex draws his champion, then we just smack it with this, because I don't mind taking damage like to the face, just 3 when I can hit him for 5 or more. Interesting. I don't know what I make of that move, other than as a setup for a future execute. Which means it's time for us to start really pushing it. So Steady Shot would be a good choice here, in order to make sure we get in as much damage as we can. So next turn we can potentially Flame Totem Golem to get rid of this 1/2/1, assuming he doesn't attack with it. I almost think he's going to attack with it and then play Ravaging Ghoul. That seems like the play to make. Yeah, there you go. Alright, that's fine. So I'm actually tempted to... Oh, wow. I was thinking of playing Rockbiter Hero Power, since we no longer have our Tunnel Trog out. Totem Golem is a little less impactful. However, this almost has the same effect. He's going to have to execute one of these. It wouldn't be as good. Like, he doesn't have another whirlwind effect other than the second Ravaging Ghoul. And then let's do this. And now we push so much damage. Like, we already are within range to activate Draconid Crusher. Alright, he's looking for answers. That's sort of an answer. Oh, that's a good one, actually. Alright, so now he's going to counter almost anything we play. However, we have a chance at getting either a Taunt Totem or another Flame Tongue. That's not great. Now I'm debating whether to play the Totem Golem. Next turn, we're going to be overloaded for 1, so that'll be 5 mana. We are pretty low on cards as it is. What am I playing around by not attacking that? Actually, I think I have to play it, just because he's going to swing and remove this. So I might as well make it a little less efficient so that his 1 card will not clear all of my good cards on the board right now. Also, I should have done this earlier. Yeah. That's troublesome because... Oh, wow. So here's my dilemma. Do I clear this? Do I just, in a, not blind panic, but close to it, just clear that off, lose this 3/4 in the process, and then play... Like, it doesn't even use up all my mana. Or do I take a risk and just keep on pushing? If I had Burst in my hand, I think I would make that play, but as it is, I think I have to take the slower route. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good enough, I guess. It feels really bad to do that, but this provides some pressure at least. I mean, it doesn't give me card advantage anymore since I still used... I'm down to 1, and he has 5. Well, 4 now. I'm just hoping that's maybe too little too late. Like, he doesn't have Emperor Veclor. He would have played it right away if he had it. That's not synergy. If he does play Twin Emperor Veclor, I'm going to need to put on more pressure. This is going to be as cheap as it's going to get. And we now are in the position where we float some mana because we don't have the activators in our hand. And this is where running dragons can be a little inconsistent at times, because if you don't have the activators, you're not getting good value. Like 2, 6, and no taunt is just terrible for 4 mana. This would have been a waste of my turn. Whereas this at least contests the board somewhat. And even then it contests it as long as he doesn't have Blood to Ick or Execute or something like that, which will build his board and potentially deal with mine. The good news is he's down low enough that it's... I was going to say it would be unsafe of him to hit with weapons, but he's a little more comfortable now. Oh, was that an Execute? Wow, a 0 mana Execute. Okay, well the good news is that activates, but do I want to play it yet? I think I do, because at this point Veclor could come down any time. I'd rather he be forced to deal with it using this. The downside is I'm once again left without a dragon. This is a better turn 4 play though anyway. So it's time to start pushing for the win. Even if he plays another Ancient Shield Bearer, I think we're still okay, because he would either have to go face with this, and we have enough health to last for a while. Oh my gosh, so much shield, so much armor gain. The alternative is for him to sacrifice this and then like use a second Execute on this, which I'm not happy about, but at the same time I kind of am actually, because if I get another activator for this, he'll have to use weapons and stuff to get rid of it.
I have no time for games.
Sylvanas, huh? So... Oh, man. So we have to be careful here. We can push for 10 right now, which is going to set him down to 8 health. Not that great. 10, 12. We'll have him down to 6, actually. Is it worth it, though? The worst he takes is the worst he takes is a 9-4. So I'm wondering if I should... Oh, man. Run this in. Because then, if I run the 9-9 into the 6-4, he can't take it with a 5-5. Unless he shield slams his own Sylvanas. That's a possibility, actually. But I'm so close to closing it out. I have the aggressive hero power here. I gotta do it, man. Even if my hand is garbage. I could play these just to give him a chance of getting something else. This may be a bad play, but... Oh, it's gonna be so bad. It just occurred to me at the last minute, like, maybe that'll dilute the board enough that he might get the wrong thing? Even if he eats the 2-6 with the 6-4, I think I'm still okay. That's a 1, 2, 3... That's a 1 in 4 chance that he's going to get the 9-9, or the 9-4, if he makes the play I think he's going to make. And if he doesn't, I win! Slam. He's probably going to slam execute? Yeah. Wow. Interesting. That means he doesn't get it. Oh, but another shield block pushes him more. So now what? He's going to eat those? He's going to eat those. Ah, right when I needed you. Ah, man. At this point, I'm just so behind because he potentially has another shield bearer after this. I mean, what else can I do here? I mean, I got no choice. I gotta hold it. Oh man, especially if he plays Twin Emperor Vector, I think it's my time to peace out. In fact, at this point, oh wow, yeah, the turn 10 Justicar gains 6 armor play. Yep, that's a little late for you. From what I know about battle cries, they go off before a minion is in play, which means he only gets this. The downside is he gets this. Oh man, that would suck. But it wouldn't be so bad because this would heal to a 6-3. That trades into that. Maybe it won't be so bad. Let's do some science. It's bad time to do science, but we might as well. We have no other choice. Ooh. That might have worked as intended. Cool. Alright. I'm still in a bad spot, but I want to see how far we can go. Because, oh man, that's 12 to the face. I can't take that on the next turn, so unless I draw another, oh jeez. In fact, I think that's lethal. There's one card that can save us. Actually, even that card won't save us. That's not it. Might as well play everything. Well, hey, he sees what we were trying to do. He probably respects us for not running just pure aggro shaman. And in the end, That's all right. So, 2 out of 3 ain't bad at all, though. Just looking over the list again, I'll be posting a link to the list in the description. I've tweaked some cards. I took out an extra Flame Tongue Totem and basically put in a Lightning Storm and a Flame Juggler in order to help with more aggressive decks. And as you saw there, we didn't actually run into a lot of them, so from this point on in the season of this month, I would recommend probably running the list in the description more so. But if you find yourself having a real hard time dealing with aggro, you might consider the list on the screen here with your Lightning Storms and your Flame Jugglers, which can sometimes decide a game in the very early stages really quickly. Like, if this hits a Fire Bat, for instance, or a Fiery Bat, sometimes you just win. So, of course, Fiery Bat being a card run in the Hunter deck. So, that's all for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to bring more Hearthstone content to you in the future. In particular, the next adventure, once it launches, we'll be doing a wing every week, getting those videos out to you as soon as we can. Yeah, have a good day. Bye-bye.